time, we learned that Joe Burrow has agreed to a record-setting contract. No more twiddling of his thumbs waiting to sign the deal with the Bengals. It has happened. We are told by those that claim to know that Burrow will get a 5-year contract in the limelight there, $275 million. And really what that is it's a lot of funny money. The most important part is the guaranteed part, and that's $219 million of guaranteed money. Joe Burrow can go out and just blow, and he's going to get $219 million. Unless he violates the morals clause in his contract, well, then he won't. But Burrow, the highest paid player in NFL history at this moment. It is a reminder in the newsroom at the old gossip website I started years ago. We had two mantras. And one of those mantras was, a rumor is just a fact until it is yet to be discovered, a fact that is yet to be discovered. And today's rumors are tomorrow's news. Right? Those were the two mantras that we followed. And the other night, there was a rumor bouncing around that Joe Burrow was about to get paid. And here we are. He does get paid. And so it is true now. That had been the gossip, and now the gossip is reality. So let's discuss the question, what are your initial thoughts on Joe Burrow's Wheel of Fortune in Cincinnati? So I have Barnyard, Fumblerooski, and Minute Maid. And we will combine all of these things together, and we'll try to break into a smile. So first of all right, this is a big step for the Bengals. Right? Big step. Anybody give that kind of dough out to anybody, but the Bengals in particular. I don't know how old you are. I don't know how long you've been following the NFL, but at my age, if you're around my age, the Bengals have always been the epitome of cheap, right? Shoestring budget, paycheck to paycheck. It's the family business. So have times changed? Is this the bar mitzvah for the Cincinnati Bengals? Have they matured now? Mike Brown taking a sledgehammer to his reputation. Is it no more El Cheapo in the Natty? Yeah. Someone needs to check the Barnyard, because I was told when I was younger that if the Bengals ever had the highest paid player in the NFL, that pigs were going to start flying and chickens would have teeth and all those things would be true. Horses would start talking. So maybe that's all happened down at the Barnyard. I don't know. But Joe Burrow is 26 years old, and he is now aristocrat rich. Wonderful, wonderful. What a wonderful thing that is. A great mitzvah. So, secondly, now not only do you have the announcement of the money, which is craziness, right, man, but the news of Joe Burrow's lottery win breaking shortly after we had kickoff of the opening game of the NFL season, the Chiefs and the Lions, a game Detroit upset Kansas City. Now, that was unusual, is the word I will use. Unusual. Kansas City is the biggest rival of Joe Burrow and the Bengals. So what did you think of the timing of the Joe Burrow contract reveal, which was conveniently leaked right around the kickoff of the Thursday night NFL opener? So I have one word to describe the Joe Burrow timing, and that is fiasco. That is my word. These schmendricks should hire one of my bosses. They should hire Don Martin, one of the czars of FSR, right? What does my boss always say? I repeat this guy all the time. One of the lines he told me years ago: don't bury the lead, my man. Don't bury the lead. You hid the good news. The Bengals buried the lead. Like, what are you doing? That's a Thursday night news dump. That's take out the trash night is what it is. 99% of the NFL world was locked in, captivated by the Chiefs and the Lions. The other 1% were sleeping. They were certainly ignoring other stuff other than the game, and so you ended up zigging when you were supposed to zag. Bad job by you. That is a Fumblerooski is what that is. Failing to collect your flowers. Like, the Bengals have not been there before. You know, you're supposed to act like you've been there before. The Bengals haven't been there before. When have the Bengals paid anybody? Right? I mean, it's just the facts, man. Just the facts. When have they paid anybody? Yeah, maybe they did at some point. I must have blocked it out of my memory. But I mean, who does that? You got a big story. It makes you look like you're not a bunch of tightwads, and you announce it during a Thursday night NFL game, a big Thursday night game to begin the season. That's bad storytelling. Who goofed? I've got to know. The Bengals have had so many cobwebs on the purse strings that they should have been doing a pirouette on the catwalk and just announced this on a... Well, I wouldn't even announce it on a Friday. I would have waited till Monday. I guess they're kind of in a pickle because they had to get it in before the Bengals play on Sunday. But still, a Thursday night? This is supposed to be a watershed moment for the team. And few people are going to realize what happened. All right, final thought. So there's one other thought I had on this Burrow story. And we're heart to heart here, right? Not exactly heart to heart, but I'm talking. I'm in your eardrums. So what is the lesson of Joe Burrow now becoming, for this chapter of the football world, a gold standard when it comes to quarterback money? The gold standard. So this is a teachable moment. Joe Burrow has overcome the odds. Now, he was the number one pick. He originally went to Ohio State, got bounced out of there, ended up playing at LSU. But it's like people used to talk about Tom Brady being a Cinderella story. Michigan, at the time Brady went to Michigan, Michigan was one of the powers of college football. Now they're back being a college football power. But they're not recruiting chopped liver. And Joe Burrow going to Ohio State originally, you're not a stiff if you get recruited to play at Ohio State. And then going to LSU and doing what he did. But the teachable part of this is that Burrow, he overcame the odds in the sense that he could have had a hissy fit because he was drafted by Cincinnati. And it's in vogue now to have this defeatist attitude if you get drafted by a crap house team. Woe is me! The Bengals franchise has, for the most part, been like residing in Chernobyl. It's a nuclear fallout zone in Cincinnati for pro football. And Joe Burrow walked the path less traveled and was able to navigate all of the vipers and all the other critters on that path. And it was a franchise awakening journey. The previous 4 years before Joe Burrow walked in to the Bengals locker room, Cincinnati had played 63 games. They had lost 42 of those games. And nobody is going to confuse Zach Taylor, who was the coach and still is the coach when Joe Burrow walked in there. No one's going to confuse Zach Taylor with Andy Reid, Bill Belichick, or Mike Tomlin, or Sean McVay. But Burrow did not sulk, as far as we know. He didn't have a pity party. He rolled up his sleeves. He got his hands dirty. And for that, he's the Minute Maid man, right? When life gives you lemons, I heard this when I was a kid, make lemonade. And that's a bit of a rather obvious FU to Caleb Williams, whose daddy is already tossing out the possibility that he might not go to the NFL, in implying that if the Arizona Cardinals get the number one pick, he'd be like, I'm going to go back to SC and get that NIL money. But Joe Burrow has proven you can make it work in a real dark place like Cincinnati's locker room if you're good enough. Right? You can figure it out. You don't have the greatest coaches in the world. You don't have the greatest teammates in the world. And Joe Burrow's been rather remarkable as the quarterback in Cincinnati. But what do I know? I just do the